All right, let us say hello to the Bellator middleweight champion of the world, Gegard Mousasi. He defends his title for the first time in his new reign this Friday night in the main event of Bellator 264 against John Salter at Mohegan Sun Arena. Gegard, how are you, sir?
I'm good. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. How are you enjoying this New England summer in beautiful Connecticut right now?
Yeah, it's rainy a little bit like Holland. So, and I'm in quarantine, so I'm in my room. But it's not bad. I'm with my whole team. It's we laugh, we joke, so it's not that bad.
Yeah, you got to have that around you getting ready for a title fight, right? To kind of distract you from the fighting and all that.
I really don't think about the fight. I just think about cutting weights, making the weights. That's the first battle, and then it's the fight. Then I focus on the fight.
So this is the first fight for you in 10 months. You're coming off that hard-fought win over Douglas Lima. You've been a part of so many fight weeks that they probably all blend together at this point for you. But in terms of just getting back in the cage and fighting, how excited are you to just dust off the gloves and get back in there?
Yeah, it's been a tough year for me. This is the only thing that's a little bit normal this year. So doing what I always do, fighting. So it's actually nice.
When you say it's a tough year, was it, because of COVID and all that stuff just kind of held you back a little bit?
No, personal issues, family, friends matter, stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. We'll leave it at that. But were you hoping to fight a little bit sooner, especially with everything going on? Like, I mean, you can only take the dates you're given from the promotion, but were you hoping to bounce back a little bit quicker than this?
Yeah, definitely. But they couldn't give me any fight, or they didn't have fights till April. I don't want to be on the sideline for 8 months. And before that, I was also on the sideline for almost a year. So I'm fighting once a year now. That's just not a lot. So I hope to fight end of the year again after this one.
Yeah, I mean, I know when we spoke before the Lima fight, you wanted to kind of bounce back quickly, but that fight was a fight a lot of people were excited about. Lima was trying to go up and get the second title. You went in there, and yeah, he had his moments down the stretch, but for the most part, you were able to shut him down. Was the fight what you expected it to be? Because it seemed like you were a step ahead of him for the vast majority of it.
Well, I think the first round I took him down. I did some good ground and pound. I think after that, he didn't have the feeling of winning. And then round 2, 3, 4, 5, he didn't step up. And then round 5, he was trying to step up and get to do something. But then I already had won the fight, so I just took him down. I didn't have to do anything more. If he would have brought the fight to me, then it would have been a real good fight. It's unfortunate. It just it wasn't the fight that I wanted. But I got the win easily. But it wasn't. I'm not satisfied with it.
Yeah, I mean, you fighters are your own worst critics, anyways. But I mean, you take solace in getting the win and becoming the champion. But overall, you weren't overly thrilled with how you performed.
No, definitely not. But it always depends on the opponent. And I think with John Salter, he will have to bring the fight to me because he doesn't want to fight stand-up. So it will be a lot of wrestling. It will, but I have to work with him. I'm not gonna be laying down on my back. So it's just the mentality of a fighter and the style, So I think this fight will definitely make sure someone's gonna get finished.
Lima said after the fight that he felt the biggest downfall was, obviously you got going, you're trying to get going a little too late in the game, but he said he showed you too much respect in the fight. Did you notice that at all? Did you feel that from him?
Well, I think after I took him down, I think he felt the strength difference, and I did hurt him with punches. I think it didn't, maybe his face didn't this change, but I think I earned the respect in the first round, and after that, I think he didn't want really. He was just happy fighting, not getting to a real war, let's say.
Do you feel? Did you watch his follow-up fight with Amosov when he lost the title?
Yeah.
What did you think of that? Did you think he didn't maybe learn enough from fighting you, and especially with the wrestling and everything? Because Amosov's a monster, and like once he gets a hold of you, it's really hard to stop his takedowns.
Yeah, I did see his fight. Maybe also a weight cut coming because he was a big middleweight when I fought him. He wasn't he wasn't Rory McDonald, so maybe the weight cut was also difficult for him. And I think his opponent was a gamed opponent. Sometimes you can always say, "Oh, it was because of the previous fight." You always will look for a reason, but thing is, opponent had a good game plan. Didn't do anything. Just took him down, controlled him, but. It's also credit to his opponent, I think. But yeah, I don't know. He will be back, I'm sure.
When we spoke before that fight, you seemed to have a pretty good feeling that John Salter was going to be waiting in the wings for your first title defense. And that's exactly what's happened here. And you were more than okay with that idea. I know you're not a guy who thinks of revenge for him beating Costello Van Steenis, but is there at least a small part of you who wants to sort of get that one back for him? Like a little piece, just in the back of your mind?
No, I really haven't thought about it like that. I just see him being an opponent, and he's fighting for the belt. He's hungry. I see him as a challenger. Nothing more, nothing less. Costello wasn't hurt in that fight. I mean, he just got taken down and controlled. It wasn't like he hurt him and now I want the revenge or something.
So this isn't personal at all. This is just, it's the fight business, right?
Yeah, of course. It's a fight. He won. So it wasn't a dirty fight, anything like that.
You mentioned it because it seems pretty clear what Salter's path to victory is going to try to be. He's going to try to take you down and control you on the map. But at the same time, like you said, he's going to come after you in order to do that, which ultimately could be a very good thing for you. Do you see it the same way? Yeah, it's striker versus grappler, but in order for him to implement his game plan, he's going to have to come play with that Mousasi fire, so to speak.
Well, yeah, I think also, especially if it all depends how I want to fight. I want to really get the finish this time because the last two fights were not finishes. I was just too tactical. So I want to come. I want to really fight him, and he will have to bring the fight to me. So I think that's going to provide a good fight.
I'm sure you've worked on your wrestling a little bit more for this camp, but 10 months between fights, you sort of had an idea where this was going to go. Did you put on a little bit of size? Did you have a little bit more of an intense strength program to add a little power in preparation for this fight?
Well, the strength is going to be better than ever. But yeah, he will know. I think he will be surprised with the strength difference. But I didn't do any of the weightlifting. I'm a little bit heavier than the same weight cut. Everything is the same. Nothing different. I will make the weight a little bit more difficult to lose the weight this training camp, but I'm 100% ready.
So if you weren't lifting weights, what were you doing to sort of increase your strength?
Eating bonbons and chocolate.
So you're eating that strength. You're eating that like Popeye with the spinach.
I'm heavier. Also, I'm with age. You get a little bit more heavier. It's more difficult to lose weight when you're a little bit. In the last 2 years, I got older. And I didn't have many fights to be in shape constantly. So maybe got bigger by naturally,
There you go. Look at you. See, we're a little bit older, but we're still spry at our youthful older age, right? Yes. Come on. We're okay. I mean, look, you've been doing this for so long. You're not in the prediction game, so to speak, but you want to go out there and get a finish. But what kind of fight are you at least expecting here? How do you see this all playing out in your mind?
Well, I expect a very high-paced fight because the way at least I want to fight him is once if he takes me down, I work constantly to get up. So, and in the stand-up, he's not comfortable. So he will have to work for the takedowns constantly, and that's going to drain his energy. So it's very easily the way we're going to fight him. We're going to fight high pace. So he gets tired, and he gets tired from the takedowns. A little bit like Chris Weidman, He will, even if he takes me down in the later rounds, the takedown won't be that explosive. It's going to be much easier to defend the takedowns.
It's gonna be a really interesting fight. But I mean, you mentioned Chris Weidman, and I know you talked about recently what happened in his last fight. You two certainly have not been the best of friends over the years, but
no, I don't have anything against Weidman.
I know it's not personal,
but yeah.
But you said that you thought he should retire after what happened, but it doesn't seem like that should be on his to-do list. He has another surgery coming up. That was just a horrible, nasty injury. Why do you feel that he should retire?
Well, it's not up to me. People ask me my opinion. It's not like I go on media and say he should retire. But if they ask me, I say if it was me and if I had 29 surgeries, I would say this is not good. And especially if you get knocked out like 3-4 times in a row, and then you break your leg in a bad way, where it's going to take a year to cover. At this age, he's a little bit older than me, I think, 37 maybe. And then he's going to come back at 38, 39. It's difficult to come back. And then how long are you going to continue? You're at 38, 39, you're over your peak. You know what I mean? It's not like you're going to get better, especially coming losses. It's that's my opinion. I wouldn't continue. If I had a serious injury like that, I would right away stop it fighting.
Okay, so
at this age, I would retire.
All right, so just to clarify for everybody out there, because I'm sure people are going to be asking you about this all week, Gegard Mousasi is not saying Chris Weidman should retire. He's saying if it were him, he would retire.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get that out there. Don't be asking Gegard about this because
don't give me some hate. Yeah.
Did you see the injury though? Did you see him break his leg? What did you think of it?
It's not nice to see a fight like that. You don't wish that on anybody. But that's the fighting. You go in there. When I was younger, I would go in. I would never think about injuries and whatever because everything was going well. But if you have many fights and you get injured and you have setbacks and whatever. And then when you have to fight that, you take those experiences and into the fight. So it's a little bit more difficult, let's say. And I think for him also, if he had an injury like that, it will always be a trauma. Even if he comes back, it will always be in his back and his mind. Oh, I can get injured. Something bad can happen to me. So that's why I'm saying at this age, it's more difficult. It's not. I don't say it cannot be done, but it's
Fair enough. We'll move on. A few more questions. It seems, at least in his team's eyes, because I talked to a few of them a couple of weeks ago, Austin Vanderford is next in line after beating Fabian Edwards. Like I know you're not looking past Friday, of course, but does that fight excite you? Trying to take that undefeated record, like another really good wrestler and ground guy. Does that one excite you at this point?
He's a tough opponent. I had difficulty even to get John Salter because Bellator wants to put me against big names. I don't blame anybody. I just fight the number one contenders. Whoever it is, I would fight him. But as name recognition, Bellator is hesitant with putting those fights. You know what I mean? They rather see me against Joe Romero, let's say, even if he's on a losing streak, because he has a bigger name. So as a promotion, I understand that. So it's not up to me. What's his name?
Austin Vanderford.
Yes, I think he's a phenomenal fighter. If the Bellator gives it, I would love to get the fight.
Okay, so since we're in the business of clarifying things, I want you to clarify one other thing for me, because I did watch a recent interview you did, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but I thought you said that the promotion's plans were, and this is if everything falls into place perfectly. Yeah. You beat John, maybe beat Austin, get a couple defenses in. Is the plan to have you face the winner of the light heavyweight Grand Prix? Did I hear that right?
Yeah, 100%. I will have to fight him eventually. So whoever the winner is, that's the fight we're going to do.
All right. Going back to the fight schedule you've had recently, like one fight in 2020, one fight on the books for 2021. You like you said, you want to be more active, and with the world being what it is, obviously it's a little bit tougher these days. Does that affect your motivation at all? Like, I know we've discussed like how much longer you want to do this, but does the lack of activity, does it sort of open that door to turning the page? Does it open it a little bit wider for you?
Well, I'm not getting younger. So, and with injuries, I have to consider that I want to stay busy when I'm healthy. One injury is going to set me back another 6 months, maybe sometimes a year. So when my body is healthy, I want to fight as regular as possible. But if I fight once a year, I'm aging and no fighting. So eventually, it's not like I can make 10 fights. Let's say if I fight once a year, eventually I will retire with 4 fights. After 4 fights, I'm retired because I'm 40 maybe. So, but if they give me 8, 9 fights, yeah, I will retire after in 4 years. Let's say with 10 fights. It's not up to me. I just want to fight, and we're gonna push for that.
Yeah, and if you go up to 205, you're probably gonna want to take some time to get a little bigger.
Yeah, that's also a problem. Yeah, then I have to build, put muscle on. That's gonna take me another 6 to 8 months at least. It's not like you're gonna get 20 pounds of muscle in a couple months. So that's another thing, but I can understand why they want me to go up to light heavyweight because also the challenge would be nice. I would welcome it.
Yeah, there's some big names up there. Like, is there a certain fight up there that has kind of eluded you over the years that you really want? Like, I mean, Yoel Romero seems to be a popular name, gets brought up all the time. There's Rumble. There's some bigger names.
Yoel Romero, I can fight him in middleweight. Why would I want to give him the advantage at the light heavyweight? Because he will have a lot of advantage at light heavyweight. I think light heavyweight, Anthony Johnson would be most favorable. As a big name, I would love to fight. Yeah.
What did you think of his last fight with they brought in a substitution?
Yeah, I think he did well, especially being he's still the same guy. He knocked out. Anthony Johnson is not the most. He's just powerful. He just knocked people out, and that's what he did. But he got caught himself. But coming out of retirement, I think that was a good performance. He will get his rhythm back again.
There you go. But look at you. You're still in your prime. You got a title defense coming up on Friday in the main event of Bellator 64. You're back on Showtime, Gegard. Some nostalgia, yes. Right? That's got to be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's nice. But, when I fight, I don't think it's Showtime or CBS or... So for me, it doesn't make difference. It's just another fight.
Did you think about that at all? Like back in the Strikeforce days?
I didn't even know it's on Showtime until this week. People mentioned you're on Showtime. I was like, okay, that's nice.
Oh, there you go. So that doesn't even you're just fighting. It doesn't matter what network it's on.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, man.
Well, Showtime is better because there are more people and, maybe opportunities for boxing or whatever, It's always nice to be on a big network.
Would you want to do that? Maybe get into do a boxing fight here and there. Maybe you fight Jake Paul. Who knows?
Everyone is doing it. So if they give it to me, why wouldn't I do it?
Yeah, go fight Jake Paul. Everybody else wants to fight Jake Paul.
I always wanted to do boxing, but but Jake Paul has so many options. So if they invite me and say fight Jake Paul, why wouldn't I fight? But I think there's 100 people in line to fight.
And you're not. You don't want to be one of those guys.
Yeah, I would. Why not?
101. Now we got 101
because he brings a lot of attention and he does promote it well. People don't like him, but I think he's a decent boxer and he brings a lot of viewers. So it's entertainment. This fighting business is entertainment. This is not. It's not the Olympics where it's all first sports. And then at the Olympics, if you win gold, you get 30,000. At least this is entertainment. You get paid much better. This is first entertainment, and then it's sports. So, Jake Paul is a good thing, I think. And they're doing well.
See, I'm glad you said that. I agree with you. We have to take this for what it is. Like, this isn't like sport per se. I mean, they're boxing, but at the same time, it's a circus. It's fun. Just enjoy it for what it is.
Yes, 100%.
Do you think Tyron Woodley could beat him?
To be honest, no. Tyron Woodley is 40. He has lost all his fights. They choose him because he's short guy. He's not a boxer. I don't know why people think he can box. Who said Tyron Woodley is a boxer?
He's just got power. Like, he knocks people out, but
he has one right hand with a small glove.
So you don't think it's going to go well for him?
100% is not going to go well for him, but he's going to make money, and I wish him well. I don't have anything against Tyron Woodley, but let's be honest. They didn't choose him because Jake Paul chose him because he thinks he's beatable.
There you go. The breakdown from Gegard Mousasi. But listen, man, thank you for the time as always. I'm very excited to see you back in there on Friday. Appreciate it. All the best to you in quarantine and in the fight on Friday night, my man.
Yeah, nothing against Tyron Woodley.
Don't be making headlines, people. Don't be making headlines. It's just a man's prediction. That's all it is.
Yeah.